Palma. Oh, pass. That's unfair, and Palma 7 points in the game. To Del Fuentes. Sarangani makes the shot and knocks it down. Maloria is open. 3-pointer. Oh my goodness!
Face of jumper by Robin Celis.
Caballero has time.
Just posterized by Scotland.
It's another game day dito po sa Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League at nagbabalik po ang liga ng bawat Pilipino dito sa Pasay Astrodome in Pasay City for another triple header today, this Thursday. At ito sila Kit Jimenez and the rest of the Sarangani Gripper will try to mount an upset going up against Diego Dario, who had that game winner right into the hearts of Nueva Ecija in Palayan City, and they will look to build on that performance today. Sarangani kalaban ng Quezon in our first game, followed by the Zamboanga Sikat Families Brand Sardines kalaban ang Cebu Greats, and in our main game, the Bacolod Tubo Slashers will go up against the Pasay Voyagers. Magandang hapon mga kaliga, Ken Pangalinan with Coach Mike Perez. Coach Mike, anong masasabi mo dun sa game winner ni Diego Dario?
Ang masasabi ko lang, I was at home watching at napalundag ako sa kinaupuan ko after that shot. That shot really was something that's very special, especially para dito sa Quezon.
And you're watching us live on the official MPBL YouTube channel and also on Solar Sports every Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and also on pusop.com. Let's bring in our courtside reporter, Miss Andrea Endicio. Miss Quezon, I'm sure yung mga taga Quezon ay naging masaya noon sa nangyari in their last game against Nueva Ecija. Pero kumusta ang Quezon Huskers coming to this matchup?
Yes, Ken. Talking about that game-winning shot nitong si Diego Dario, nakausap ko nga siya kanina at aminado naman siyang merong mga inconsistencies at ang main factor nga daw dyan ay ang injuries. Like one moment, he would be getting his rhythm back tapos may injure na naman. So far, it has been an up and down journey for him. But that night against Nueva Ecija, if we can recall, he was 9 out of 10 from the 3-point line at noong pangatlong pasok nga daw ng kanyang tira, sabi niya sa sarili niya, parang nag-iinit ako ngayong gabi at nakita nga daw yan ng kanyang mga teammates, and so his teammates were very supportive, even telling him kunin mo yung bola, and in those last few seconds Diego specifically told LJ, ibigay mo sa akin yung bola, and indeed hindi niya binigo ang Huskers. Indeed, they got one of the biggest wins of the season. More of this later on, but for now, balik muna sa inyo.
Maraming salamat, Andrea, and certainly Quezon rode the hot hand in that game against Nueva Ecija. Pero Coach Mike, balikan natin yung mga kaganapan. Oh, we were in Orion last Monday at nakita natin Manila tinalo ang Bulacan 115-98. Basilan got an important victory against Ilagan, Isabela, and Bataan just walloping itong Paranaque at home.
Yeah, I think yung game number 2 has pretty much implications, lalo na itong both Basilan and Ilagan really trying to get solid positioning into the top 10 and in the hope of getting into the playoffs.
And ngayon, silipin natin yung ating team standings, Coach Mike. Pasay is 16-8, but you see the logjam 4, 5, 6, 7, Coach Mike. And importante yan kasi top 6 lang yung papasok outright into the playoffs.
Yeah, napakahalaga nitong mga series of games para dito sa apat na teams na ito. Caloocan, Pampanga, Pangasinan, even Pasay. Pasay at best, I say, could end up with 21-8 and might be in their last 3 games go 3-2, who knows. Pero ang importante dito, series of games that's very important para dito sa Pasay to get into the playoffs.
Well, 5 teams in the South will play today, including the top 2 teams. Quezon, though, has created some separation against Zamboanga dahil nga sa panalo nila against San Juan and Nueva Ecija.
Yeah, napakahalaga nung panalo na yun para dito sa Quezon. Matter of fact, in their last 4 games, if you look at that, natalo sila sa Rizal, pero yung balik nila pagdating dito sa Basilan, San Juan, and itong Nueva Ecija really told a lot on the on that firm hold at number 1 para dito sa Quezon, which I feel out of reach na. I think Quezon is gonna be number 1 at the end of the regular season.
Ganun kahalaga yung panalo nila against San Juan and Nueva Ecija. Ngayon, pag-usapan muna natin isa sa mga manlalaro para sa Sarangani Gripper, Lars Sunga, who repeatedly attacked the mismatches down low, and he was able to generate a lot of free throw attempts, although he only made 5 out of 12. Pero you like the activity he got inside. Ito, Coach Mike.
Yeah, tama ka dun eh. Yung activity na pinakita sa atin ni Lars Sunga, these numbers are pretty much above his averages except for the free throw shooting where he was 5 out of 12, shooting only 41% versus his 59% free throw average. He was the most fouled player actually in that game, getting fouled 8 times, so he got sent to the line a lot of times. And napakaganda ng efficiencies niya pagdating sa performance niya, enough for him to be the top guy in that game para dito sa Sarangani.
Maging si Alex Cabagnot, nahirapan bantayan. Ito si Lars Sunga and was really able to use his size advantage to good use. Pero sa kabilang panig naman, Diego Dario, he earned the MPBL of the Week citation, and for good reason, because boy, in this game where you saw Judel Fuentes and LJ Gonzalez struggle, it was him who was able to carry the cudgels and willed etong Quezon back into the game and nailing that game-winning free.
It tripled his point production, doubled his percentages, lalo na yung 18 points in the second half out of that 29 points. And I mean, you would not forget that 9 of 11 3-point shooting of Diego Dario, especially yung last shot niya which really won that game para dito sa Quezon Huskers.
And well, when we go back to how it happened, this was their only taste of the lead for the entire game. They were down by as many as 18 points, Coach Mike, but they were able to just chip away at the lead and prevail over Nueva Ecija.
Pretty much. You look at the percentage, 43% overall, pero yung 14 na 3-pointers na nakikita natin dyan, 9 of those really coming from Diego Dario. And yung points in the paint, you see that's a -12 para dito sa Quezon, which is pretty much expected because how they shot the ball from the outside. But the second chance opportunities, doon naman sila bumawi. Sure, they take shots from the outside, but they did really good at getting offensive rebounds and turning them into second chance opportunities and points.
All right, it's Quezon versus Sarangani in their first game. Let's go to Richard Tampos for the starting lineups.
MPBL Season 7. Our first matchup is Sarangani versus Quezon. Here are the starters. Let's begin with Sarangani Gripper. To guard number 12, Martin Gozum. Playing center number 13, Koy Alves. At forward number 52, Lars Sunga. Also at forward number 34, King Destacamento. Point guard number 30, Charles Caliano. The head coach, Toto Dohilio. His assistants are Mark Manalang, Joshua Inocentes, John Covarrubias, Jock Labrador, Lawrence Lopez, and Jeff Cleopas. The team manager, architect Andrew Bellarmino. Team consultant, Master J.K. John Calios. And now for the Quezon Huskers. At forward number 41, Joshua Yero. Also at forward number 0, Will Gozum. Shooting guard number 2, Judel Fuentes. Point guard number 13, LJ Gonzalez. Coming in at center number 5, the Excalibur, Simon Sandagon. Quezon Huskers is led by Eric Gonzalez. Assistant coaches, Richie Tigson, Ed De La Torre, Luis Nolasco, Jonathan De Guzman, Nash Racela, Bernard De Guia, and Councilor Jeric Teng. The team manager, Attorney
Starting
Don
5 brought
Capuna.
to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Sarangani starts off with Charles Caliano, Martin Gozum, Koy Alves, Lars Sunga. And King Destacamento for Quezon naman, LJ Gonzalez, Judel Fuentes, Simon Sandagon, Joshua Yero, and Will Gozum. Our referees for this ball game are Sev Pingol, Edmar Avis, and Karina Martin. Fourth referee is Leonardo Llayosa. Tip going to the side of the guys in white, Sarangani. Quezon in their black threads. Sarangani playing without Jeff Viernes. And very interesting how it will pan out for them as they need a win to buoy their chances, Coach Mike, no, na maka-advance at least in the play-in for that 8th spot.
Yeah, this is like actually one of the 4 succeeding games that's very important para dito sa Sarangani. Right now, they're seated at what, number 11 with 9 and 14, trying to chase Cebu and even Muntinlupa for that number 10 spot. And if you're gonna consider yung slide nitong Muntinlupa, there is a good chance for Sarangani and to try and sneak in. But they also have, other teams that's very interested in that same position. See this strong drive by Simon Sandangon. Imos and Davao also in it for that final 10 spot para dito sa South.
Caliano, drives baseline, naagaw ni Simon Sandagon. Gonzales, who struggled against Nueva Ecija. But dahil nga sa pagputok ni Diego Dario, nakatulong, no, in enabling Quezon to beat Nueva Ecija in Palayan City. And that's something that's a welcome sight if you're Quezon, because oftentimes pag off night si Judel saka si LJ, nahihirapan silang humugot sa backcourt eh.
Tsaka maganda dito kay Diego Dario. He can play both the positions of LJ and even Jodel. You don't understand that pretty much Jodel for the most part really is a shooting wing. And LJ at certain points in their games would play the point guard spot. And so Diego can play both point guard, can be a shooting guard as well, and very capable in terms of scoring para dito sa Quezon Huskers.
Koy Alves at the free throw line, shooting below 50% from that distance. It will pop out.
Koy Alves actually has the most start para dito sa Sarangani.
Oh! One-handed throwdown right out of the gates from Simon Sandagon.
Simon Sandagon in his last 2-3 games has really sent out a statement that he is laser focused to try and bring a title for the Quezon Huskers this season.
That came out of nowhere. Simon Sandagon announcing his entry, but Lars Sunga able to counter with a bank shot.
Pretty much Lars Sunga continues to attack middle of the lane, pretty much dangerous inside the paint. Got that strong body to be able to absorb contact. And Jodel Fuentes, mid-range. I mean, what more can you say about that shot? Pretty good looking always.
4-2 is their score. Quezon with a 2-point lead. Martin Gozum attacking the defense of Jodel Fuentes, too strong on that mid-range jumper. Tatakbo si Jodel off that pass from LJ.
Boy, look at that trust.
Malakas nga lang. Tira galing sa labas ni Joshua Yero.
They really want to get shooters involved in their game. And quite understandably, kasi pretty much pagdating sa perimeter shooting and attempts, dead last in terms of attempts itong Quezon at only 37.7 attempts per game.
Yeah. Actually, almost half of their attempts come from beyond the arc. Talking about the Quezon Huskers.
And that's just, I feel, their style of play.
Gixer, great move of the game. Going for greatness.
Koy Alves really tried to risk it and tried to go for that steal, and Slam Dagon really just a couple of dribbles away from that clear path and that jam in the paint.
LJ attacks, will pull it back out. Will Gozum hands it off to Jodel Fuentes. Sandagon taps it inside to Will. Count it, plus a foul. Will Gozum, who did not even play in the second half against Nueva Ecija, goes to work early.
And that I feel is also very important para dito sa Quezon Huskers, that you get a Will Gozum involved in some of the things that they do. That time they blitzed that two-man action involving Jodel Fuentes, and seeing two on the ball, Jodel simply released it, and that ball found the hands of Will Gozum.
Let's check in with Andrea.
For Sarangani, Quezon itself is a tough opponent, pero sabi ni Coach Toto Dohilio, mukhang medyo mas mahirap ngayon because Jeff Viernes is out in Malaysia due to a prior commitment. Junji Halyari injured his hamstring yesterday lang sa practice, and Danny Marilao is in the province for a prior commitment as well. But looking at the different side of things, did you know that Coach Toto and Coach Eric Gonzalez have known each other for so long? Pero kwento nga ni Coach Toto, never kaming naging nasa same side ng court. Starting from they were still players in PBL to coaching grade school students, high school students, college students, hanggang pro league. But who knows, Ken and Coach Mike, basketball world has a lot of surprises. Would you guys find it interesting to see Coach Toto and Coach Eric at the same side of the court? Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Andrea. Parehong defensive-minded coaches yan eh. Si Coach Toto Dohilio, saka si Coach Eric Gonzalez. No? And it's so refreshing to find out na at all levels, magkalaban pala sila no? Throughout the years. As Will Gozum goes ahead and scores his 5th point courtesy of that pass from LJ Gonzalez.
Oh, that was a good finish by Will Gosson. But going back to that coaching discussion between Coach Toto and Coach Eric, yun nga, sa depensa, makikita mo naman talaga yung emphasis nitong dalawang coaches nito, especially for Coach Toto, who's pretty much introduced that part of the game para dito sa Sarangani.
Nilinis pa yung ring. But eventually, LJ Gonzalez burying that 3-point shot from the left corner.
The first 3-pointer of the game for the Quezon Huskers. They just keep on moving and finding that corner ball picked up by LJ. Got that ball to fall on the bottom of the net.
12-2 start for the Quezon Huskers, prompting a timeout galing dito sa Sarangani. We'll be back after the short break. LJ Gonzalez, gaya ng binanggit natin, no, medyo nag-struggle siya against Nueva Ecija, only 6 points. Did have 5 rebounds, but ang nakakabahala dyan yung 6 turnovers, Coach Mike.
Agree. And 6 points as a starter for LJ Gonzalez, medyo mababa yan. The struggle is pretty much on the field and even from the free throw, where he went 1 out of 2 only from that spot. He did get 6 turnovers as well, which pretty much I feel threw him out of rhythm in that game. But the good thing is you got other guys that stepped up in that very important win for the Quezon Huskers. Matter of fact, pag tinignan mo yung laro na yun, they normally would average mid-80s when they win, about 85 points on their win. That win was what, 78 points? But still they were able to find a way to score, and just like this 3 right here by Jadel Fuentes, and 2 stat lines that's very clearly reflects how a game would turn out if it's favorable for the Quezon Huskers or not. It's 3-point shooting and free throw makes. I mean, both those 2 stat lines have been very good for the Huskers in that last wing, making half of their 3-point attempts and going 8 out of 9 from the line.
Nag-pick up din kasi yung shooting nila in the second half.
Yes.
Because in the first 2 quarters, they were below 40%. 3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
And pretty much Caliano in that situation late to recognize that it was Jadel Fuentes who was 1 pass away from that 3 attempt.
15-3 after that King Destacamento free throw.
And right now, Quezon doing, what, 2 out of 4 from 3, making half of their shot attempts. And the free throws, so far, they've gone once and they've made it. And so pretty much, ako, in my opinion, yun ang clear indicator of, whether our game is gonna go Quezon's way or not.
They need to make threes and they need to play defense. That's been the formula to their success so far.
I was going to say Simon Sandan is really doing good.
Fast Break the Game brought to you by Extreme X-Pop Personal Karaoke Speaker. Every day, karaoke.
And every time that you miss a shot, you got to look out for transition defense if you're Sarangani, because the Huskers would love to run off misses. Push a lot of pace para sa kanila to gain the advantage in the open floor.
Bintis, yung pangalawang free throw ni Simon Sandagon. Kit Jimenez now in the ball game for the Clipper.
And then I like the maturity and a little bit of edginess on the side of Simon Sandagon. It just brings a different facet and dimension to that, center spot para dito sa Huskers.
Jason Opiso, who has missed the last 3 months for Quezon, and this is his first game back.
Of course, alam mo naman si Jason Opiso was that crucial putback on game number 2 in that series with Batangas, stealing that win from the Rum Masters, forcing game 3 and eventually, getting into the national finals.
This was that 3-point shot by Carlo Escalambre.
Good little handoff right there between Coy and Escalambre. And you like that Escalambre actually caught it and shot it. Didn't delay it so much. Just quick thinking on the guy.
Siya rin, maraming pinagdaan ng mga injuries, no? To si Carlo Escalambre. And speaking of injuries, binanggit na rin ni Andrea kanina, no? Na si Junji Halyare is sidelined with his own injury. Danny Marilao, Jeff Viernes wala din. So pretty much short-handed ngayon ang Sarangani Gripper. But Carlos Calambre splitting his charities. Papasok si Otep Cabayni at si Alvin Abundo.
And boy, those 3 names that you mentioned are actually some of the top 3 scorers para dito sa Sarangani. Viernes roughly averaging close to 15 points per game. Marilao at 10. So does itong si was the other guy again that wasn't there? Halyare. Junji, right. And so, other guys like Kit Jimenez got to step up with performances scoring-wise, including Larsunga.
Christian Pagaran at the line. LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. Did not suit up in that game against the FIC. Si Christian Pagaran. From Lantapan, Bukidnon. Malakas ang ulan, no? Sa Himpapawid. Hope you guys all stay safe. Coach Richie Tixon and Coach Eric Gonzalez. I'm sure gusto nilang dagdagan pa yung kalamangan nila dito, no? Which stands at 10 right now, 18-8.
They're on poise to at least getting close to 25, even 30 points maybe at the end of the first quarter.
Rich Pascual, Rugen Brillantes, Escalambre, pinapantayan ni Alvin Abundo, who comes away with a steal. Finds an open Jason Opiso streaking down the lane, laying it up and in.
4th turnover of the game, to which they generated 5 points off of it. And again, babalik tayo dun sa importansya ng pag-alaga sa sa inyong possession. Speaking of Sarangani, you cannot afford to just keep turning the ball over and missing shots. Look at the activity of Joseph Gabayni right there, trying to save the ball from going to the end line. But clearly, they are looking for live turnovers because it gives them a chance to run back, just like this one right here. Good pickup by Alvin Abundo. The waiting hands of Jason Opiso running the middle of the floor.
Si Kit Jimenez may tangan ng bola. Bouncing it inside to Ken Brillantes, who will score, and a bonus free throw coming up after getting fouled.
I've always loved yung activity nito ni Ken Brillantes.
Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
And including the craftiness of Kit Jimenez. Really trying to show a shot, but last second dropping it off to the rolling Brillantes and going back. Yung puwersa na binibigay nito ni Brillantes para dito sa Sarangani talaga namang napakahalaga, lalo na kung gusto nila makapasok sila sa playoffs.
Lagrama's shot bouncing at the top of the backboard. It will go back to Sarangani.
And so far, after going 2 out of 5 from 3, That's another miss para dito sa Quezon Huskers from the three-point area.
2 minutes remaining in the first period. Destacamento guarded by Jason Lopiso. Now it's with Kit Jimenez. Sizing up Topeng Lagrama. But shot clock will expire on Sarangani.
Well, that's the thing about yung two-man game. King Destacamento pretty much is a screener that would want that defender to hit him because that's the time he starts rolling. He's not your typical pick-and-pop guy. And so, nung napupwersa na sa depensa, na magkaroon ng pressure on that offense of Kit Jimenez, there really was not much happening in that set para dito sa Sarangani. Their missed three. That's what? Third straight miss na para dito sa Quezon Huskers.
Jason Lopiso, back-to-back misses. Kit Jimenez with the basketball. Balik kay Kit from King Destacamento, and he tried to locate King down low, but it results into the 6th turnover already laban dito sa Sarangani.
And so far, that two-man action between Kit and King Destacamento, at least for those last two possessions, had not produced anything. Meantime, taking advantage of mabagal na pagbaba sa depensa nitong Sarangani, Pagaran quickly attacking the baseline and drawing that foul of Kit Jimenez.
Rodel Gavera will check in. Kapaltan muna si Jason Lopiso. John Calios. 67 seconds left. Mukhang tatawagan ng technical foul.
Sarangani Gripper Team Consultant, John Carlos, for sportsmanlike behavior. Second infraction.
Maaga-aga pa to, ha?
Oh, aga. Well, maybe he's just trying to fire his team up. I don't know, after that very slow start. Now they're recovering a little bit.
Topeng Lagrama sinks in the technical free throw. Pagaran shooting his 3rd and 4th attempts from the line.
Pagaran has actually played in 16 games already, having started in 6 of them.
Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer.
He's played only close to 15 minutes pero napakaganda ng shooting percentage ito ni Pagaran. 56 overall from the field and 41% three-point shooter. So the very rare times that he's taken shots from the outside, he's actually made them.
12 puntos ang lamang. Jimenez, long three-point shot is good.
Now that pretty much is the shot that he's gonna be given from way outside. Papansin mo kanina pa on a two-man action, every time they keep going under with Kit Jimenez involved and daring him to take shots from the outside. And so far, layo man ng tira na yun. Ang ganda rin ng pagkakapasok ni Kit Jimenez.
Yung tira naman ni Alvin Abundo from mid-range, but it results in 2 points. Banggaan between Brillantes and Gabayni. Bigating matchup yan.
Oh, ganda ng matchup na yan between those two.
Literal.
And again, they went under, and so Kit just understands if your defense goes under, you gotta take it. You gotta trust your preparation for games. At nakita naman natin si Kit Jimenez, may mga larong ganun kalayo tumitira, na-extend yung range niya.
Kadalasan naman yan from Kit. Says Brillantes makes the second free throw, 25-15. Just a second differential between shot and game clock. So Quezon could actually opt for the final shot of the quarter. Lagrama, now guarded by Pascual. Bounce pass to Joseph Gabayni, who floats in but can't score. Gravera, put back attempt will work, and a bonus free throw. Bibiyayaan ito si Rodel Gravera.
And the Quezon Huskers really trying to mix it up right now. That time, staying active on the offensive rebound, and Gravera, he actually is one of those stars from the national finals last season. I think that was in game 2 na ang ganda ng nilaro nito ni Rodel Gravera.
Sablay yung kanyang bonus free throw. That will not count. Not enough time for him to put up a shot, but nonetheless, Quezon picking up from where they left off in that morale-boosting victory against Nueva Ecija as they got off to a really strong start with that slam dunk by Simon Sandago to open things up.
That's 2 of the total 12 points in the paint scored by itong Quezon Huskers, and a lot of that has been in open floor transition. We always said that they take more shots from the outside, make more shots from the outside than it is on the inside. But right now, they're pretty much looking good in paints in the points. They got 12, and they're up 27-15.
Nagbabalik po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Sarangani defeated by Basilan by just 7 points, but it doesn't really tell the story, Coach Mike, how Basilan pretty much dominated this matchup.
Pretty much the struggle has been shooting from the field. I mean, they shot, what, 41% from the field, pero yung free throws nila, grabe. They missed 18 of their 31 attempts. They made rather 18 of their 31 attempts, and yung mga nagbintis na yun could have told on the, at least on the margin of that game. They were double digits disadvantage when it comes to rebounds. That was a -13, and they got out hustled in second chance opportunities where they were -8. And the only thing that they did well in that game was that they had one more lesser turnover than that of Basilan. And they got 20 assists, pero naka-30 naman itong Sarangani, Basilan in that game.
Second quarter underway. Muli po Ken Pangilinan with Coach Mike Perez at courtside. We have Miss Andrea Endicio. Takapasok lang ni Diego Dario. Did not suit up in quarter number 1. Fires a pass immediately to Alvin Abundo, who knocks down a free.
And that left corner 3 has pretty much been very friendly to the Huskers, not just in this game, but in a lot of their games. As most teams would really load up on that right side of the floor. 3 on the other side, same spot, left side of the floor, corner 3 this time by Mix Pascual. And then this is a guy that you don't want to be left open for threes, because he pretty much, in my opinion, one of the really good catch and shoot guys para dito sa Sarangani. As if you're gonna defend him, you'd like for him to put the ball on the floor, kasi pag catch and shoot, medyo you're challenged a little bit with his shot attempts.
Panay pamigay ng bola itong Sarangani. 7 turnovers already. We have a timeout. Quezon in front by 12. Back with us here inside the Pasay Astrodome, the Quezon Huskers, their next 3 games. September 1, Mindoro, September 4, Bataan, and on September 11, kalaban nila ang Imos. Let's go courtside to Andre Endicio.
The Huskers may be looking well at the start of this game, but Coach Eric Gonzalez says malayo-layo pa sa gusto niyang makita. Tinanong ko nga siya if he were to rate the Huskers' performance right now, he would give them a decent 6 out of 10. Individually, andun daw ang talent, but mainly lacking on the 3 C's. Ano nga ba yon? Consistency, cohesion, and chemistry. Having a team na kalahating araw ang considerably bago, achieving that state kung saan one page ang lahat won't be an easy job. Composition-wise, we can say Quezon has the veteran presence, young legs, firepower, skills, name it. But Coach Eric says he wants to see the same amount of effort from everyone, as he is now imposing that playoffs mentality as early as now. Ken and Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Andrea. And kailangan talaga pukpukin na nila especially we're getting into the home stretch of the regular season. But to their credit, despite the fact that they're lacking in those free C's so far, yung nakikita natin, Coach Mike, na nagagawan pa rin nila ng paraan
Ako babalik ako dun sa last 4 games nila. They lost to Rizal, won over Basilan, then those 2 crucial matches between San Juan and Nueva Ecija. You pretty much could say, if you're gonna consider how they played the previous games, medyo mahihirapan sila in those 2 matches, San Juan against and Nueva Ecija. Pero, you know, they won on both those last 2 games by just 1 point, enough for them. I guess they got a good cushion on that number 1 spot right now in the South, lalo na if you're gonna consider yung next 3 games nila, which those are mostly middle-tier teams. And so there is high probability that they're gonna win against those teams. And yung last na dalawang team nila will be Zamboanga, which I feel will be the toughest in their last stretch of games. And then you end up with Muntinlupa to close out the regular season para dito sa Huskers. And so they might end up 25-4 or 24-5 in my opinion.
Well, nagkaroon na sila ng separation because of those wins against San Juan and Nueva Ecija. Napakahong 1 point lang
Absolutely.
Di ba? Slimmest of margins. But a win is a win, and more importantly, racking up those wins enabled them to get a firm hold of that number 1 spot in the South.
Tsaka it was a good test of character para dito sa Quezon Huskers. And katulad nga nung ni-report ni Andrea, you know, gusto na nila parang playoff ready na sila. And so as early as now, you know, the effort is to play each game as if they're already in the deep runs for the playoffs.
Because had they lost those 2 games,
oh boy,
imbis na 19-4 sila, 17-6.
Which would give, you know, that closer gap with Zamboanga,
Oo.
even Batangas and Gensan. Outside shot din si Rizal because they're what, at 14 right now. 14 wins.
Kung ganun kasi sitwasyon, 1.5 games behind lang sana isang Buanga But instead, because of those back-to-back victories, 3.5 games behind na sila.
Precisely.
And ilang games na lang ba natitiran tayo dito? Mga 4, 5, 6 games remaining for all of our teams.
Majority, roughly mga ganun.
4 to 7.
4 to 7 games. With a good number being roughly at 6 and 5. I think the ones who have the most games left would be Rizal. They got 7 remaining, and as well as Davao. They both have 7.
Mayroong mga ilan dyan, mga apat na games na lang. Like Cebu mamaya. Saka Bataan.
Oh, that game by Cebu later on against Zamboanga, I feel is of equal importance, similar to yung naging San Juan Nueva Ecija situation itong Quezon Huskers.
Great pocket pass. JP Sarao lays it in off that gorgeous feed from Rodel Gravera.
Ganda ng pagkakapasa, no?
Oo.
Threading the eye of the needle with that pass, and you love that it's coming from your bigs. I've always loved how these guys play in the open floor.
Sa labas, titikada si Mix Pascual who knocks down that free.
Mix Pascual is right now 3 out of 3 from the field, from the 3-point region. He has not missed.
Gravera can't answer. Gozum snags down the board for Sarangani. Kit Jimenez, napakalayong tira nito, and it will bounce out.
Well, that's the second consecutive time that he's taken shots from way out.
Diego Tario has yet to make an attempt. Tagle will pull up. Eman Tagle swishes in that jumper.
Eman Tagle, one of the guys, in my opinion, that's going to be crucial in certain stretches of games in the playoffs, because this kid can actually make shots from the outside. Nakikita mo naman sa flow ng tira niya.
Martin Gozum will fire and score from downtown.
3-point shooting has improved significantly for Sarangani. They're 6 out of 11 right now. Matter of fact, they're shooting better than that of Quezon. But just as you say that, pumawi ito si Judel Fuentes.
Tres din, pinakawalan doon ni Judel. Jimenez attacks the defense of Diego Dario, blowing past him and was able to draw a foul. 3-point shot is brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
Judel at that time going under, daring that shot. Samantala, binawian naman ni Judel. Top of the key, little flare action, one of the favorite activities for a 3 outside na movement para dito sa Quezon Huskers, and Judel just sinks it.
Binanggit mo, Coach Mike, no, how Sarangani has been really efficient from free to today. Hindi yan for the majority of the season. It hasn't been the case.
Yes.
Because they're one of the bottom teams in terms of 3-point attempts and makes. Ano to contrasting styles itong Quezon sa Sarangani.
I was gonna say the same. And boy, Judel Fuentes knocking down another 3. And then the shooters have really come out.
13 points galing kay Judel Fuentes.
3 out of 4 from 3.
Matching his season averages already. Boy Alves inside. Scores 2 more points for the Gripper. Diego Dario atake. Supalpal, inabot niya kay Richard Velches.
That's the thing that Diego Dario brings to you. I mean, if you're going to close out on him, be aggressive on close out from threes, he can put the ball on the floor and attack the lane.
Play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Little touch passing there involving Koy Alves with that good feed inside.
Offensive foul will be called against Simon Sandagon.
Naibaba yung balikat kaya natawagan ng offensive foul itong si Simon Sandagon.
14 ang kailangan habulin ng Sarangani. 46-32. Caliano at the post. Wants to back down Eman Tagle. Caliano will power through and score.
Not much that Eman Tagle was able to do on that post-up by Caliano. One of the small guards that's got pretty decent post moves this season.
Will go zoom. Malakas yung kanyang pasa. Numbers for the guys in white. Martin Gozum will lay it in. Counted plus a foul.
That's a foul away from the ball. As Martin Gozum was driving right through the gut of the defense. See this action right here. Got that little screen from Velches. Will held on as Martin kept going with that layup attempt.
Bonus free throw para kay Martin Gozum. Topeng Lagrama will return, as well as Alvin Agundo.
Actually, maganda tong sitwasyon ngayon ng Sarangani. They were down by as much as 16. Right now, they're down only by 10.
Teka. Hindi, bola ng Sarangani.
That should be Sarangani ball, that's right.
And because it came after the shot, hindi mabibigyan ng bonus free throw. It's gonna be possession for the Ripper. Fresh 14 on their shot clock. Boy Alves, pinatid kay Martin Gozum. And a foul will be whistled on Will. As he tried to keep in step with Martin. Dalawang Gozum pala ito.
Both Gozums going at it.
Si Will papaltan muna ni Jason Opiso. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left.
Medyo miscom dun sa mga nila sa defense coverage na that last attempt by Will. Again, sinusubukan na naman promotion nito ni Caliano. He feels that he can take on any guard that's right about his size down on the low block. And he's got that built-in to power inside, and even that drop step. Now, like what I always say, once you're down on the low block, the first thing you want to test is that middle door. If that middle door is open, you got to go and take it.
Itong free throw na ito, hatid sa atin ng Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Throwback guard to si Charles Caliano.
Classic, ano?
So, talagang hinahanap niya yung gusto niyang poste yan. Si Alvin Abundo, maging siya, may capability rin to post up smaller guards. But it just goes to show you how Caliano's strength wins over as he knocks down the second free throw.
At saka yung pagkakaposte niya, ano eh, he was doing what's called a Barkley. When you start dribbling the ball, you try to get a little bit closer down to the rim. Oh, what a fake. That's what really Caliano has done.
Mintis nga lang,
Right side of the floor.
Caliano puts it on the deck. Shot will not count, but Quezon is in penalty.
I thought he had that right side of the floor ready for him to claim. And instead, he went to the left side. Matter of fact, down the middle where you have, in my opinion, more hands that could deflect your handles. You would have had a clearer layup shot on that right side of the floor.
Played for Colegio de San Lorenzo, si Charles Caliano. Same school that produced John Gabriel. Knocks down both free throws. Just like that, from a high of 16 points, the deficit cut down to 7, 46-39. 2 minutes remaining.
And all because the three-point shooting and the free throw shot making has really slowed down for the Huskers. Good pass. Oh, nice block.
Block.
They're gonna challenge
Also a
this.
foul.
No, but I thought that was a good block.
Coach Toto approaching the scorer's table.
Ito yung bounce sa ilalim. Ganda ng recovery ni Koy. That look ball. Pero last, when on the descent, medyo may tama sa kamay, ano? So we'll see how that goes. But naked eye, it sure looked like a clean block.
Yan ang titiyakin ng ating mga game officials. Tingnan natin kung successful sa ating pagbabalik.
Challenge was successful. There was no foul on Goy Alves.
Tama. Yung hula mo, Coach Mike.
Yeah, clearly he got all ball. It was only on the descent na nagkaroon in a way as he was trying to swipe. Pero that was a good block by Goy Alves. And then this has been a good run. At least to close out the quarter. Para dito sa Sarangani, ha?
Yeah.
From I have 16, they're only down by 7. And a good stop here could bring this a little bit closer, possibly to 5. Oh.
And Sarangani will get a stop.
And they knew that post exchange was definitely gonna happen. And so, late na pasok ni Velches, enough for him to make them think that that spot was open. Good deflection.
Magkakataon may baba yung kalamangan para sa Sarangani gripper. Bumagsak si Martin Gozum. Not a good foul because Quezon is over the foul limit.
I see this right here. Little dribble handoff got in the way of Martin. One could say nakatulong rin yung pagkaka-sell ni Martin Gozum dun sa contact na yon ni Tagle. Right now, free throw wise, plus 8 attempts, plus 7 ang Sarangani over Quezon. And they're making doing better from 3.
Top 5 naman sila dyan sa free throw makes and attempts. That's been the formula to their success as well. Talking about Sarangani, those free throws and fast break points.
Good shot.
Opiso,
Oh, wow.
Sandagon gets it back. 10 seconds left sa shot clock ng Quezon. Wayward pass. And Quezon, after not committing any turnovers in the first quarter, they already have 5 here in the second period.
And you have to credit yung magandang, pressure on the ball, especially against that two-man action. And Topeng Lagrama was trying to locate a player that was one pass away with nobody in there. Had to throw it to the other side of the floor, to which nahirapan habulin ito si Simon Sandagon.
Caliano inside. The pass to Velches. And Sarangani draws another foul. And now they will shoot their 19th and 20th attempts at the line.
Well, in the absence of rim protection na dominant na big man, kasi pretty much mga athletic big guys itong para sa Quezon, they really just keep on attacking that lane of Sarangani. And Quezon being 23rd when it comes to blocks at 2.3 per game. You know that is one aspect of the game that you might want to consider as you try and go and test that defense of the Quezon Huskers. They are very good in perimeter defense, pero in the paint, doon ang pinaka makikita mo pagkakataon eh.
Sa ilalim, nagkakagulo pero si Otep Cabaini able to score. And a timeout requested by the Sarangani Gripper. They have made a lot of headway after being down by as many as 16. Now they're down by 8. Back with us here inside the Pasay Astrodome. Check out this Gixxer fan of the game, born for greatness. By the way, since the Quezon Huskers are playing, we'd just like to greet a happy birthday to their team owner, Doc Kim Tan. And also we'd like to greet hello to Attorney Don Capunan, always watching, always supporting itong Quezon Huskers.
And those are some of the top supporters of the Quezon Huskers. Both, very active and seeing a lot of joy in supporting these Quezon Huskers every time they take the floor.
Sarangani, though, is making it a little bit tough for Quezon at the moment. They have the last shot. Lars Sunga wants to isolate against Joseph Cabaini. Lars Sunga, pepuwersa sa ilalim. Bola nakuha ni Gravera. Good foul actually by Richard Velches. Just their third team foul preventing the fast break.
And you like it when players understand their foul situation, especially in closing out quarters. This is 1.2. I like to think Coach Eric's going to simulate something to try and do some end game stuff plays.
1.2 seconds left. We'll be back after the short break. Nagbabalik po ang Marliga Pilipinas Basketball League. By the way, Quezon is playing without Gab Banal, who is in street clothes today. So other guys have been given opportunities here. Like ito si Rodel Gravera, Jason Opiso, nakakabalik lang. Now Opiso will trigger it in from 3/4 court. Diego Dario will put it up off the heel. And that's going to do it here in the first half. Just when you thought Quezon was going to pull ahead, Sarangani making things a little bit interesting, but Judel Fuentes was pretty much unstoppable in the first half.
Yeah, pretty much. Lalo na yung dalawang sunod na 3 points na yon. He was 1 out of 2 previous to that, pero 2 triples in succession really allowed for that better performance for Judel Fuentes, but they're gonna need more from the rest of the guys as they are right now only up by 8, 48 and 40.
Binalik na si Raymond Binuya. Binuya gets the steal. Igilos is with him and Shema is blocked! Raven Gonzalez with a denial! Oh my! He caught him up top.
Clean block upstairs. Access denied by Raven Gonzalez on Jamo Egilos.
Cabanag, they're speeding up the game now here, Caloocan. The kick out to Kasid. Attacks the closeout. Goes behind the back. A 3 from Cabanag.
Kung ako, dedepensa ako sa ganyan, talaga mapapagod ako. You saw the way they were passing the ball from one place to another even without looking at each other.
But it was an absolute wizardry.
Oh,
Galing
yeah.
kay Kasid, ha? Saan napunta ang bola? Sabi ni Nem de la Cruz. Nandun pala sa corner para kay Jeremy Cabanag.
Kahit ako, mapapatalon ako sa silya ko sa ganun eh.
About it. There's a double team. The steal by Adlawan. Dolan. Look out. Oh! Dolan Adlawan drops the hammer. He's been waiting for that to happen. Dolan Adlawan for our Gixer. Great move of the game. Born for greatness. The interception and then the throwdown right here.
Perfect anticipation on the passing lane by Dolan Adlawan. I've been waiting to see this also for quite some time already.
Another good setup there for the Risers. You really just couldn't knock it down, but that one's just pure handles and good finish for Kenny.
Dami niyang dinaanan doon. Roa Curva with a remarkable finish.
Ang mabigat doon, wala nakapigil.
And that was his offhand.
Yes. Right hand finish for a left hand player.
Gonzalez providing the pick. There's a switch. Ildefonso against Igilos. Dave, shot clock winding down. Ildefonso for 2! What a shot! 23 in the game para kay Dave Ildefonso. And the degree of difficulty on this shot, Javi. Gixer, great move of the game. Born for greatness. Absolutely unreal. Dave Ildefonso.
Jamo Egilos played the best defense he could on that play. Look at the challenge on the shot, but Ildefonso still able to make it, extending the lead back up to 13 for Abra.
Right now makes it on a layup. 4 points quickly rather para dito kay
Ooh! What a move! Escosio completes it! What a sequence for the Davao Occidental Tigers!
Man down on that move. Wow, and that between the legs by Salubre caught everyone sliding.
He wants an ISO up top. Hubert Cani gets to his spot. My goodness! Hubert Cani delivers here for Bataan.
Oh my goodness. Hubert Cani on a little one-on-one and a step back, elbow side. Looks good. Goes in.
Mac Talio. Talio attacks middle.
Ooh.
Talio with a dipsy-do! We have a highlight from Mac Talio.
Well, finally, something that his highlight team could work with.
Galing kay Mac Talio, and he's loving it.
The tongue is out as well. Total battle in what kind of shot he would have taken.
Oduba with a reverse! Ang lalim ng dukot ni John Oduba and using some English for the finish right there.
Uduba, certainly one of the X factors.
He took off on the other side and finished dun sa kabila.
A lot of credit, a lot of props to the Sheriff David Defonso for making that excellent dish.
Undersized compared to the other bigs, but he pretty much, to your point, looking.
Napakagandang galaw naman yon. Pinakita na naman tayo ni Mitchell Minus.
Mitch Minus never runs out of highlights here in Kamalig. Oh my goodness.
He has turned the Orion Sports Complex his personal playground.
And the Risers are loving this version of Mitch Minus.
Kicks are great move of the game. Born for greatness.
Mitchell Minus. Oh my goodness. Yup and under. What a move.
Paging siya ay natuwa sa kanyang sariling galaw doon.
MPBL All-Star na.
MPBL All-Star na.
MPBL All-Star na.
MPBL All-Star na. Abangan na inyong mga MPBL Idols ngayong September 6 sa Alonte Sports Arena, Binyan, Laguna. See you there mga kaliga. MPBL All-Star na.
MPBL All-Star na.
MPBL All-Star na. MPBL All-Star na. Abangan ang inyong mga MPBL Idols ngayong September 6 sa Binyan, Laguna. See you there mga kaliga.
Back with us here at the Pasay Astrodome kung saan ang Quezon Huskers lamang ng 8 puntos laban sa Sarangani Gripper 48-40. Coach Mike, laki ng lamang ng Quezon agad ha. 15-2 start and led by as many as 16 points. But credit Sarangani with that fight back in the second period.
Yeah, I think yung big scoring run nila at 10 points really helped bridge the gap, and they are now in a better spot than they were in the first quarter. Shooting has improved significantly para dito sa Sarangani, lalo na when you look at the 3-point mix, they're what, 54%. Almost half of their shots really going in from beyond the arc. Pero clearly, The offensive rebounding has been no challenge at all para dito sa Quezon Huskers, as Sarangani could not come up with a single offensive rebound, allowed only one shot per possession. Samantala naka-11 offensive rebounds itong Quezon Huskers, to which they got 9 points of it, and one of those being yung putback ni Joseph Gabay in the latter part of the second quarter.
Mix Pascual leading the way with 9 points. For the Sarangani gripper, Martin Gozum also had 8. Charles Caliano with 5. Carlo Escalambre had 4, including a free earlier in quarter number 1. And you like how Quezon is leaning on Judel Fuentes after an off night in their game against Nueva Ecija. Ngayon, pinupuntahan sila dito. Pinupuntahan nila siya dito. Talking about to si Judel. Only had 10 points on 3 of 12 shooting against the Rice Vanguards. And let's see, no? If Quezon can make some separation again or makahabol pa itong Sarangani. And for the gripper, this is a very important game. Like we mentioned at the top of the coverage na nag-aabol sila, no? Para sa 9th and 10th spot para sa ating play-in tournament, Coach Mike.
Well, so far as performances para dito sa Sarangani, clearly, if you're Coach John and Coach Toto, you do admire the shooting performance of Mix Pascual. They're gonna need another guy to make shots from the outside alongside si Kit Jimenez. But how about that perimeter jump shot by King Destacamento though?
Supalpal, inaabot ni Simon Sandagon kay Richard Velches. Chance to inch closer for the Sarangani gripper. Kit Jimenez gives it up to King Destacamento. Pass bit off target, but luckily for them, Caliano was there for the retrieval. And he passes it inside to Lars Sunga, who can finish in traffic.
So far, you love the activity of Sarangani, but you gotta check on shooters. Good challenge right there by Kit against the attempt by Judel Fuentes from the outside. Empty ball screen right here. LJ rejects it.
LJ, masyadong malakas. Someone's gonna get teed up, and it looks like it's the Quezon Huskers.
Well, they sure felt there was contact as LJ was trying to navigate, as he tried to reject that screen against that defense. And earlier, they missed already a 3-on, a good shot attempt by Judel Fuentes.
So Coach Eric Gonzalez was the one who got teed up. And he's not happy also with his players. And Andrea talked about how for Coach Eric, they need to up the intensity, especially papalapit na yung playoffs.
Yeah, pretty much. Because if you look at the second quarter scoring, first quarter muna, it's 27 points para sa Quezon Huskers. Only 15 for Sarangani. Well, pretty good defensively for Quezon. Pero you allowed Sarangani to outscore you in the second quarter enough to trim down this gap. It's 25-21 yung second quarter na yun. So ayaw na magpatuloy pa ng ganung trend ni Coach Eric. Kaya naman, sending a little bit of a message to his team on the floor.
At yun nga, nahanap nila yung 3 C's, no? Consistency, cohesion, and chemistry. Tama ba, Andrea? Tama, di ba?
Tama.
Okay. Mamaya mali ako na sinasabi. Meanwhile, it's foul whistled against Quezon here.
I just love it when coaches come up with those acronyms because it's easier para ma-retain sa memory ng mga players. Players have to deal with a lot of plays, memorize a lot of movements, defensive and offensive philosophies of play, and keeping it simple with those acronyms really helps a lot.
Oo. Sarangani pala yung foul doon. LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. JP Sarao back at the free throw line. 49-43. Did not suit up in their string of games of late. But he's back in. Knocks down both free throws. 50-43. 8.5 to go in this quarter. Kit Jimenez joined by Richard Velches, Lars Sunga, King Destacamento, and Charles Caliano. Jimenez fakes behind the back. And he got bumped while taking an attempt 2 free throws coming up for Kit.
And so far, the Quezon Huskers having trouble challenging against the handles and the movements of Kit Jimenez. He's been really trying to attack those gaps inside. You know, started out with a little two-man action with King Destacamento right about that left side wing area. Rejected that screen and just attacked a couple of black shirts right down the middle after he snaked it against that action with King.
At hindi lang yon, meron siyang 6 na puntos, but already 9 assists for Kit Jimenez. Fuentes misfires from the outside.
Oh, his shots have not fallen that much after doing really good. Oh, good keep action by King.
Larsunga will force it up. And ball ends up with Jodel Fuentes.
You love that Hierro really just kept his hand up. Oh, little action underneath between JP and Velches.
Less than 2 minutes, well, more than 2 minutes gone by in the third. Sarangani making their move. And this without Jeff Viernes, Junji Alyari, Danny Marilao.
They're missing a good, 30 points with those 3 guys out. And so for guys like Mix Pascual to start converting from the outside really helps them a lot.
Jodel, mintis pa din. Larsunga nakuha yung rebound.
I thought they had a slot-to-slot. Oh, Keith from way outside. Sure looked good.
Velches fouling Fuentes. Drops him up on the floor. Third foul against Richard Velches, but you like the energy and activity he's been showing here.
At saka komportable siyang kasama sa hig itong si Kit Jimenez. He's what? Kit Jimenez so far has not shot the ball well from the outside. 1 out of 5. So that's something that's not gone well for Kit. But he definitely has issued it really good time. Ooh, what a beautiful pass. Oh, that baseline drive by Hierro to the waiting hands of JP.
Assist of the game.
JP Sarao really just understanding philosophies of play. You try and drive the baseline side. Somebody's got to be available on that front of the rim, which some coaches would call the T area. Why they call that the T area, I do not know, but that's just the term most coaches would tell you. You see somebody driving that side of the floor, make sure somebody's on that T.
52-45. Itong lamang ng Quezon. Larsunga finally gets the basket and a bonus free throw coming up.
The most fouled player from last game in Sarangani. And this is one of the reasons why. He understands when to attack open spaces, and once a defense comes in, he understands how to finish.
Every game brought to you by 1xBet, title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Tsaka ganda rin ang physique ni Larsunga. Really very capable to get inside and absorb those contacts.
Hindi lang yun, bagong ulay yung buhok ni Larsunga.
Abaw nga ano.
LJ Gonzalez nagpakawala ng 3, 55-48. Quezon reclaiming a 7-point lead.
That's the first time they knocked down a 3 for quite a while. Right now, they gotta get a stop here. They so far have had problems with Kit Jimenez putting the ball on the floor. Now they put LJ on him.
Jimenez from way out, and it's not even close.
That is a bad shot. I say that's a bad shot because he hasn't made any from the outside. And the range that he's been taking it, and you got to give credit as well to the defense of the Quezon Huskers, allowing only that shot attempt for Kit Jimenez. They don't want him getting inside lower than the arc and starting to use his handles to create situations for their team.
Bola babalik sa Sarangani after Fuentes airballs that jumper. Let's check in with Andrea Endicio.
During the halftime huddle mula sa Sarangani, first things first for Coach Toto, free throws. That single-digit deficiency would be less definitely if they do better in that department. Pangalawa, as you've mentioned, Coach Mike, itong si Coach Toto has always been a defensive coach. So the Vipers giving open shots to Quezon, hindi talaga uubra yan kay Coach Toto. Dagdag pa ni Coach John Calios. At this point, bawal na yung akin to mentality when it comes to defense. Dapat tulungan na, especially against a team like Quezon. Para naman dito sa Quezon, Coach Richie Tixon specified how players once given the chance to play, dapat same level palagi ng intensity. No wasting of opportunities. And even if Gabanal isn't suited up today, mararamdaman mo pa rin talaga ang presensya niya with every word every time the team goes off the court. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Andrea. And at the moment, I think not much to their liking yung nagiging effort and energy na pinapakita ng Quezon. At least in the last 2 quarters. And now they will challenge the last call here by our game officials. Almost 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd period. Babalik kami para sa resulta ng challenge na yan. Laban sa Quezon.
Yeah, that did look like unsuccessful because while he had his hand up, and when you speak of verticality, you cannot push him around using your body, and so I do agree with that call. He was trying to move into another spot kahit na nakataas yung kamay niya.
Destacamento lays it in. Lead down to 5 again.
King Swad had, 4 points in the quarter so far? And that is definitely one big man that's very mobile, that you'd love to see a lot of point production if you're Coach John and Coach Toto.
Fuentes has really gone cold here in the 3rd period.
Alam mo kung anong difference dito, Ken? It's the energy. The energy is pretty much better on the side of Sarangani right now, but LJ is gonna feed them with some of that stuff.
Gonzalez in transition, always a dangerous predicament for the opponents.
Always very quick to his feet to get into the passing lanes. And right now, he's assigned to Migs Pascual. They do understand Migs has been the top shooting guy for them.
Oh, Velches, big boy rebound, gets the basket, at may foul pa.
Believe it or not, that is the very first offensive rebound para dito sa Sarangani. And Velches really skied high after that miss by Caliano. Enough to outposition. After that shot, making it, ito si Velches.
That is surprising because they're in the top 10 in terms of that department, offensive rebounds. Just goes to show you, yung depensa talaga nitong number 1 ranked defense in the league, itong Quezon Huskers, holding them to only 1 shot. But also, it speaks volumes to our Sarangani despite the odds stack against them, naagawa din sila ng paraan na makadikit dito.
There's that slip. They didn't get to Simon.
LJ to Diego Dario from Pagaran. Bounce pass turnover against Quezon. Vix Pascual surveying the floor. Pascual, the pass inside, Destacamento. It's a foul against the Huskers.
They might look at offensive interference right here after that shot attempt.
Offensive, no?
Tingin ko kasi
goaltend.
goal 10. Tingin ko dahil gumalaw yung clearly right in front of us, that backboard move.
Fast play of the game brought to you by Extreme X Play on the go speaker. Take your music anywhere.
One of the fastest guys on the floor, LJ Gonzalez finishing off after that steal.
Okay, tingnan natin dahil Quezon nahihirapan na makawala laban dito sa Sarangani. Just past the halfway point of the third. So it's a regular foul. Destacamento will shoot 2 free throws.
Oh, so they didn't call that goal 10. Hindi nila tinawagan.
Sandago na ipapalitan muna dito ni Joseph Gabayni. King back at the line. It's good on the first free throw.
King Destacamento once played for Coach Aldrin Morante rin of Pasig when he played for San Beda College Alabang. He was part of that champion team in the seniors division in the NCAA South. Him alongside other players. If I recall correctly, I think Jed Mendoza was part of that San Beda team, including Aaron Morante, who is the son of Coach Aldrin.
Lane violation. Hindi, free thrower violation laban kay King Destacamento. Kailangan tumama muna sa rim bago gumalaw yung free throw shooter.
Ang lalaki naman kasi ng hakbang eh.
Sasapayan. Naibaba na nila sa 3 lamang ng Quezon.
More concerning though is you so far have only scored 9 points in this quarter. Sure, you've only allowed 13 points para dito sa Sarangani, pero the energy, you gotta match up that energy. Yung sinasabi nila Coach Richie kanina pag binigyan kayo ng playing time, make sure na same yung level ng energy. I thought that those starters really put in a lot of force and a lot of pressure for Sarangani to try and respond to, but when the other guys came in, hindi napantayan yung enerhiya ng mga starters nila nitong Huskers.
Ang gusto ni LJ, mas maging forceful, no? Si Joseph Gabayni sa ilalim. Because he definitely has the heft advantage over guys like Coy Alves and King Destacamento.
I would have to agree. Because he is pretty much that big man that they look up to in that paint. Speaking of Joseph.
Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer.
And that is gonna matter a lot, especially as they head into the playoffs. As you go deeper, a lot of paint action, a lot of paint activities, teams exploiting penalty situations and getting important players in foul trouble. And you're gonna have to be very forceful and very active inside the paint if you're a big man like Joseph. Ganda ng depensa ni LJ.
Now he's guarding si Charles Caliano sa ilalim. Foul na naman. This is something that they had a problem with against San Juan. They gave up 29 fouls, giving 20 plus free throws to the San Juan Knights. Or almost 20, basta around that number. Pero yung 29 fouls
Yeah, they gave for Nueva Ecija, they gave up 32 free throws.
O yan din, pareho pala, no? That's something that they're having trouble with. Defending without fouling. We all know that they gave up the least number of points. But siguro kung meron pa silang gusto pa nilang paigtingin, is yung makadepensa sila nang hindi nag-give up ng foul.
Ako, I'm just surprised in that last sequence after they called that foul on LJ Gonzalez. They pretty much, I mean, the officials have allowed previous contacts to see, things happening right in front of us. See a basket right there by Diego Dario. Yung last second tawag na yun kay LJ, I thought that they were, giving a little bit of freedom for the players to play on.
Foul na naman. Mga ilang free throws na ito. 29 at 30. Meanwhile, si Diego Dario, crossover. Ginagpag lang yung depensa doon ni Charles Caliano.
Well, so far, they've given up 24 fouls already in this game for the Huskers. Samantalang itong Sarangani, 13 pa lang ang fouls na nakukommit nila. So this is pretty much, in my opinion, gonna eclipse the 25 fouls that they gave up against Nueva Ecija.
60-57. Joseph Gabayne will shoot back out to the bench.
And the way that this game has gone, especially with that comeback in the second quarter, you see a jump shot here by Jason Alpizza that he misses. And it sure feels like Sarangani is playing how Quezon played against Nueva Ecija in their previous game, really just hanging in there until that final moment when they get a shot at taking a lead.
That's the thing with Quezon, no? Na kahit pa malamangan mo ng malaki yan, they will stick to their system no matter what. And even against Rizal, if you remember that game, laki din ang hinabol nila. Naunahan sila ng Rizal. I think umabot ng 20 points yun kung di ako nagkakamali. Lamang ng Rizal doon. Naibaba ng Quezon down to 3 around the fourth quarter before Rizal was able to recover. Kuy Alves at the line. Itong free throw na ito. At sa ating Extreme Appliances ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
And minsan, if I recall correctly, yung mga maramihang substitution, yung mga platoon substitution, when you substitute most of your players at the same time, yung energy, medyo yung continuity ng energy, that might be a part of what they did in the second quarter, because there was, if I recall correctly, parang 3 or 4 players that came in to sub for the Huskers, and that's when they started exploiting fresher legs that came in, medyo malamig pa coming off the bench.
And this team has one of the deepest rosters that we have, talking about the Quezon Huskers. And Coach Eric has really touched on that in terms of him not giving more than 20 minutes to any player. So lahat gets equal opportunity. As may foul na tinawag laban sa Quezon, ha? Sarangani, a chance to take the lead with these free throws.
And it all because of the stretch na effort para dito sa Sarangani. Martin Gosum, I'd like to think earlier on when he was trying to crack that paint defense by Quezon, played a huge part in that comeback. Let alone yung mga baskets rin ni Escalambre, as well as the orchestration of Kit Jimenez.
Tabla na tayo after that Coy Alves free throw. This one for the lead. Short.
And yung key difference sa pananaw ko is yung yung shot making para dito sa Quezon Huskers here in the third quarter, specifically from 3. After going 5 of 16 in the first half, where they shot 31%, they are really 1 out of 5 from 3 so far here in the third quarter, and the only guy that's made a 3 earlier was Judel Fuentes, and no one else has ever made any from the outside. Oh no, Kit from the corner.
Jimenez, sablay. Sa ilalim, Gozo, supalpal, inabot kay Christian Pagaran. Diego Dario all the way for the lefty finish.
Now that's the energy that you are trying to find from your players on the floor for the Quezon Huskers. And that activity started on defensive end. Little block right here by Pagaran. If it's off to the races, being unselfish, give it up to Diego. Getting past the defense of Migs for that left-hand finish.
Fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners. Ang Extreme Magpalamig, free installation for split-side air conditioners. 4 straight points for Quezon, prompting a timeout from Sarangani. Back with us here inside the Pasay Astrodome as we check out our fan of the game brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL.
Mrs. John Hamon, who is going to see action later on against Zamboanga. Boy, that's going to be an important game for Cebu.
Ma'am Elisa Fajardo, the better half of John Hamon, who was recently named the newest member of the MPBL's 1,000 point club. Congratulations to John Hamon.
Oh yes, congratulations. Things looking up para kay John Hamon. You know, finished his graduate school. Tapos ito, naka 1,000 points pa siya. And then the Cebu Greats have been doing a heck of a job with that 5-game win streak, which they will put on the line against Zamboanga later on.
Pasa ni Dario, palabas kay Alvin Abundo. Malakas yung kanyang tres. Bagaran, bitid. In traffic, Koy Alves comes away with it. Martin Gozo wants to attack the defense of Diego Dario, but met by Opiso, who stands his ground and forcing a miss. But Koy Alves there to clean it up.
They're getting offensive rebounds itong Quezon Huskers, but they're not able to get second chance points off of it. And so far, after scoring 9 second chance points in the first half, so far they've gotten only a couple here in the second half, in the third quarter to be specific.
Free throws coming up for the Quezon Huskers as Dario got fouled. Both teams in penalty. Larsunga, babalik sa loob para kay Martin Gozum. Diego Dario, former UP Fighting Maroon, also won a championship in the PBA.
And that I feel yung previous game niya against Nueva Ecija, where he got that game winner of a 3 over that late contest of Wilma Caloni. He played 20 minutes. And we've always talked about the 9 of 11 shooting para dito kay Diego Dario from 3. But man, this guy played 20 minutes without committing a single turnover. How efficient is that for Diego?
Pero mintis, dalawang free throw, ha? Oh, what a pass! Biggs Pascual setting up Kit Jimenez.
This has got to be one of the best games, if not the best game, that we've seen from Mix Pascual. Good decision making right there, but you got to catch up on the other end, defending against Alvin Abundo. He's one of the smartest guards that the Quezon Huskers has. He plays with a lot of force and a lot of intensity.
A miss that time by Sarangani on the run. Diego Dario lays it in.
And for the most part, that's where they've scored so far. Mix letting go another 3. This one will be way off. First miss from 3.
Hierro comes away with it. The pass to Opiso. He is gone on the other side.
Fast break points. That's where they've been really getting a lot from the Quezon Huskers. They had only 8 fast break points earlier. Now they're up to 14. They score 6 here in the third from fast breaks.
Kit Jimenez way off target. Destacamento to beat the buzzer off the mark. As second remaining. Pascual. That shot would not have counted even if it gone in. But Quezon just recovering their bearings behind Diego Dario, who had a mini flurry towards the end of the quarter. Highlights of the game brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
Better close to the quarter, and I'd like to think that LJ Gonzalez has played a huge part in elevating that energy for the Quezon Hustlers, coming up with a couple of steals, turnovers and points. But this beautiful pass by Mix Pascual of that alley-oop from behind the back, and that finish by Kit Jimenez. But then again, you gotta play defense on the other end, and the Huskers so far waking up here in the third quarter.
And they lead by 6, 70-64 against the Sarangani Gripper. Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. Fourth quarter underway between Sarangani and Quezon. Muli po Ken Pangalinan with Coach Mike Perez at courtside. Kasama natin si Andrea Endicio. LJ Gonzalez immediately going to work. And a three-point play opportunity coming up.
Yeah, he's using a lot of smarts after that little low rip going side to side for LJ Gonzalez. They thought he was going to go left, but saw that right side of the floor open, went in, chased that space, and able to make something out of it.
Fuentes got the offensive rebound off that LJ free throw miss. Quarter scoring, nakita nyo kung gaano naging maganda yung pagnimula ng Quezon dito. Outscoring Sarangani by 12, 27-15. Pero inunti-unti ng Sarangani Gripper, 25-21, 24-22 in the second and third periods.
Nagtutuusin kung titingnan mo yung panimula nung, and even the middle part of the third quarter, we thought that was going to be a huge quarter for Sarangani, pero ang ganda ng balik, lalo na on those rebounds and turnovers that they forced to it. They got into fast break opportunities para dito sa Quezon.
Brillantes sa loob. Wala. Gonzalez nakuha yung rebound. LJ attacks Charles Caliano. As Caliano hits the deck.
Sarangani got lucky that that layup attempt by LJ Gonzalez did not go in. You see Charles Caliano holding onto his right shoulder after trying to get that ball away from LJ Gonzalez. Of course, you know LJ going left side of the floor, he very much is comfortably going that side. Kaya nga sabi ko, nagulat ako na namintis yung layup na yun para dito kay LJ. Ito yun, atake niya going middle. Yun, parang na-overextend yung kanang braso nito ni Caliano. And eventually hurting that backside of his shoulder.
Yeah, we'll probably hear an update later on the status of Charles Caliano. Si Jimenez pinasok na muna dito as well as King Destacamento. Sarangani at this point, they cannot afford to have any more injuries. Wala na nga si Jeff, Vernes, Juji Alyarin, Ani Bacalao. LJ Gonzalez recently named an all-star starter representing the South Division.
But LJ has struggled from the free throw line. He's missed his 2 attempts.
0 out of 2.
Yes. Oh, wow.
0 of 3.
LJ Gonzalez,
Mga 68% free throw
68%
shooter
free throw
yan.
shooter, yeah.
Quezon though in the midst of an 8-0 run, because earlier we were tied at 64. Nanlamig na rin yung opensiba dito ng Sarangani. Judel Fuentes Rejected by Richard Velches.
Kanina pa maganda ang binibigay na tulong sa depensa nito ni Richard Velches. Remember that report of Andrea earlier when Coach Toto reminded the guys, hindi akin to pagdating sa depensa, kailangan tulong-tulong tayo. And that's exactly what you saw of that help side defense by Richard Velches. Really just waited for that spin on the baseline side and blocking that shot by Jadel. Good shot by Jadel.
Fuentes, after missing his last 6 attempts in the third period, knocks down a 3-point shot here in the fourth.
In my opinion, that's a shooter understanding where the defense is coming from. And nakita niya medyo naka-topside ng onte yung abang ng depensa, kaya medyo pa-flare yung move na yun. And LJ showing that energy which the Huskers desperately needed on the floor.
12 points for LJ Gonzalez. And Sarangani will sue for time. It's a 13-0 run by the Quezon Huskers. See here, off the steal, LJ. Nothing much you can do when he's ahead. Walang makakaapol dyan kay LJ Gonzalez.
Second steal of the game, and he's showing a lot of activity on the defensive side of the floor.
Next Saturday na po yan, September 6. The 2025 MPBL All-Star Game, where we feature the 3-point shootout, slam dunk contest, the All-Star Executive Game, and the All-Star Game between the North and the South.
Wala ko, one thing's for sure. Lahat ng mga kakilala ko dyan sa South, San Pedro, Muntinlupa, and Binyan area are gonna be there in that game. Bilis, ano? All-Star game na kaagad.
Ganun kabilis, oh.
Oh my goodness.
Ganun din kabilis makarecover ang Quezon. 15-0 run na ito. Napako na sa 64 points. Rodel Gravera will slam it down with 2 hands.
He pretty much deserves that moment, itong si Rodel Gravera. He's just been a guy that they pull off the bench and always gives positive results. He never runs out of effort. While we see another 3 right there by Escalambre. And one of the more consistent 3-point shooters so far para dito sa Sarangani alongside Mix Pascual.
Dalawang krista galing kay Carlo. May foul na tinawag sa ilalim laban sa Sarangani gripper. He's gonna go against Carlo Escalambre. Play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game. 1xBet.
It was a foot race with Mix Pascual, and Mix was not gonna challenge that. And Rodel Gravera, a very quiet, athletic guy that's gonna play important minutes, in my opinion, come the playoffs. But so far, one of the best shooting guards in this game for the Quezon Huskers, knocking down another one from Jadel Fuentes.
Jadel Fuentes, 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. And they have really pulled away after Sarangani was able to tie it. Fuentes at 2 more points for a total of 23 markers. 86-67. Sarangani in danger of losing that grip. Doon sa play-in spot, no? Double foul ang tinawag doon. How about Judel Fuentes? Scoreless in the third period, but waxing hot here in the fourth. 10 of his 23 coming in this quarter. 86-67. Joshua Yero called for his third foul. And you like how Quezon was able to turn the switch up here after makatabla ng Sarangani dito.
Well, I felt the catalyst really was yung energy na pinakita ni LJ Gonzalez. He pretty much has decided on his own that, I'm gonna be a leader by example and show a lot of effort. And another turnover forced here by the Quezon Huskers. Ganda ng panimula sa depensa para sa fourth quarter dito ng Huskers. And so far, they've allowed Sarangani only 3 points while scoring 16. And that's just about the kind of performance that they showed early in the first half, in the first quarter rather.
Bridging all the way to the tail end of the third quarter yan eh. Dahil nga kanina, 64 all na yan.
Correct.
Points off turnovers have been key for Quezon. 14 turnovers against Sarangani turned into 21 points by the Quezon Huskers.
Simon Sandagan going to work the last set. And we've seen a lot of that left-hand finish by Simon for the Huskers, at least for the last 4 games that he's played. Calambre for another 3.
Well, challenge yan, and it's off target. Boy Alves gives it up to Caliano. Inside, Sunga gets fouled.
And one guy that pretty much has been silent for quite a while, Lars Sunga.
Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game. 1xBet.
Doing more stuff for the Quezon Huskers is Judel Fuentes that time, coming off that curl on that left side wing and used that screen. Understood that defender was chasing him from the back, and looked at that short roll by Simon Sandagon, and Simon just finishing it off with that left hand.
Sunga, 2 out of 2 on the line. Diego Darius, pagpapaingay na muna dito si Judel Fuentes. So it's Rodel Gravera, Diego Dario, Joshua Wawa Yero, Simon Sandagon, and Topeng Lagrama, the unit for Coach Eric Gonzalez.
He's got to take that.
Dario will take it. Off the mark. Lagrama ends up with it. Thought about it. Gets it back from Rodel Gravera. Diego Dario counts it. And pulls up for that mid-range jumper.
I loved how Topeng Lagrama actually stayed patient with that little shake action down middle of the floor. Got that middle pick and roll bit with Simon Sandagon as everybody was going downhill. That lift from the corner by Diego Dario, that catch and shoot, completing that shake action. I love that he put that ball on the floor and tapped the elbow too.
The attack by Diego Dario, who will miss. Sunga in transition. Great stand on defense by Gravera, and also credit Hierro for disrupting the rhythm of Lars Sunga there.
Ang nakakapanghinayang dito sa Sarangani. Nakita mo napakaganda ng energy nila kanina ng third quarter, and somehow that effort really just went south.
Parang nag-evaporate eh.
Oo. Huge turnaround, lalo na nung tinaas na ng intensity ng depensa at activity nitong Quezon Huskers. The ball is sticking right now para dito sa Sarangani. Kanina medyo maganda pa yung movement eh.
Boy Alves sa poste. Bola na agaw ni Gravera. In a foot race with Charles Caliano. But it was off. Rodel Gravera, turnover against Quezon.
It happened right in front of Coach Richie. And he thought that was touch last by Calyano before he went out.
Mix Pascual will check in. Well, you mentioned Mix Pascual who had a good game today despite them being down by 21 points.
Mixie was 3 out of 3 at the half, making all his 3-point attempts to go with a couple of rebounds, couple of steals, a couple of assists, and 1 steal. That was really a good showing for Mix Pascual. I thought all along that he was going to explode some more in the latter quarters, but things not going inside for Mix Pascual.
Alam mo namang San Beda yan, no, high school. Hindi din.
What?
Nagulat ka na naman, Coach Mike.
Really?
Totoo.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh my God.
Sa Rizal. San Beda.
Oh yeah, sa Taytay.
Sa Taytay, tama. Then moved to University of the East. And then eventually finding himself playing for San Sebastian. So palpal. Inabot ni Will Gozom kay King Destacamento.
Na isa pang bedista din, si King Destacamento.
Mix Pascual. Masyadong malakas. Gabayni will get the rebound. Diego Dario, the crossover, goes inside and was fouled.
Makita ng Diego Dario pagka-atake niya, nakapwesto na dun sa left side si Will Gosum. So just that good decision to try and go inner thirds of the floor to attack it instead of clogging that middle lane.
Diego Dario, agaya ni Mix Pascual, was a bona fide high school star playing for UPIS. Talagang ano to eh. True fighting maroon ito eh, si Diego Dario. Since high school, all the way to college.
Si Ginoong hobby pala niya ba? Full-blooded, ano ba yan? O college lang?
Nag-FEU.
Nag-FEU nga pala siya ng high school.
Happy
That's
niya sila
right.
Coco.
Oh yeah.
Coco
How
Pingoy.
could I forget that?
Sila Joel Liu. Si Mix Pascual, dati, Coach Mike, ako maniniwala ka dito. Past first point guard yan dati sa San Beda. As we hit the last 2 minutes, Koy Alves with a reverse. And then he converted himself into a knockdown shooter nung na pumasok siya ng college for UE and then to San Sebastian.
Well, that's a transition that I feel he must be intentional on the side of Mix. He a good basket right there by Koy Alves, recovering that air ball attempt.
Yeah, he had a decorated high school career. Talking about to si Mix Pascual. Former Philippine National Youth Team co-captain. Mga kampi niya dyan, sila Kai Soto, Carl Tamayo, Fort Street Padrigao, J.O. Chu. Sa FIBA Under-17 World Cup in Argentina, he was part of that team.
This is what year again?
Hindi ko na maalala eh.
Pero definitely before the pandemic yan.
Before pandemic?
Yeah,
oo.
before the pandemic.
Kung di ako nagkakamali, siguro mga 20. Ayoko na manghula. Basta before pandemic,
Yeah, before
for
the
sure.
pandemic, yeah.
Tapos, he supposedly had 1 more year playing for Paste. But at the last minute, decided to turn pro and now ending up here with Sarangani. And he could be a key piece, especially without Jeff Viernes. They need someone that could help Kit Jimenez in the backcourt.
Oh yes, definitely. And that I feel is one of the reasons why he's in here. And so he played for San Sebastian when Coach John was there. Ang ganun ba?
Hindi ko sure nag-abot sila. Posible. Oo yata. Basta sure ako, ang inabot niya was Coach Arvin Bonleon.
Arvin Bonleon, that's right. Coach Arvin.
Eman Tagle gives it up to Will Gozum. Tagle between the legs. Off to the left. Now Quezon with this impending win. Sila yung kauna-unahang team sa South that would march into 20 wins, no?
Yes. And again, like what I said earlier, there is a high probability that they will end up either at the very least 24-5
Or
or at most 25-4.
Parang halos secured na nila yung top spot.
Yeah, I don't think there's a highly unlikely na mahahabol sila ng Zamboanga. Because of, and then the reason that I say that is because when you look at the teams that they are gonna go up against, Zamboanga's going up against another three from the outside by Kit Jimenez. Zamboanga's going up against, these are pretty tough teams. Later they'll go up against Cebu, who are on a 5-game winning streak. And I'm sure there's a lot of pride in the Cebuanos right now that will want to keep that winning streak alive. And then they go up against, speaking of Zamboanga, they go up against Basilan, Binyan, Quezon, and Caloocan.
Puro malalakas.
Malalakas. And a lot of bigs in those roster of teams.
Quezon taking care of business. Coming off the heels of that very spectacular victory on the road against Nueva Ecija. They were tested a bit here by the Sarangani gripper, but they were able to hold Sarangani to only 10 points the rest of the way. Or sorry, 13 points the rest of the way after we were tied at 64 apiece. Outscoring them by 17 points. Best player of the game brought to you by 1xBet. The title sponsor of the MPBL, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
While LJ Gonzalez brought in the defensive activities, the offensive conversions really of Jadel Fuentes. 23 points of 9 of 17 shooting. He was 5 of 9 from 3. He got 7 rebounds, 4 assists without committing any turnovers, and a couple of blocks to go with the effort. Good effort by Jadel Fuentes for the Huskers in this game.
94-77, Quezon winning this one over Sarangani. Let's go courtside to Andre Andicio.
Maraming salamat, Ken. Judel, first of all, congratulations. Napakaganda ng naging simula ninyo. Pero obviously, medyo bumaba yung energy come the second and third quarter. Yun ba yung nag-push sa'yo at nag-take over ka nitong fourth quarter?
Sinabi sa amin ni Coach nung halftime nag-relax kami kaya ganun yung nilaro namin sa first half. And yun, parang nabuhayan kami pagdating nung third tsaka nung fourth. Kaya kailangan lang trumabaho ng maayos para lang makuha namin itong panalo na to.
At Judel, na-mention nga sa akin kanina ni Coach Eric na marami pang kailangang i-improve sa team. And looking at this game, sa iyong palagay, ano ba yung dapat i-improve ng Quezon Huskers?
Siguro, una-una yung defense namin Kasi parang siguro mga 3 games na parang yung defense namin, nagre-relax kami. Kaya yun na naman yung ensayuhin namin sa practice. Kaya yun, sana ma-develop namin.
Siyempre, yan ang aabangan ng mga Quezon Huskers fans ngayon. Meron ka bang mga gustong batiin o pasalamatan? Go ahead.
Una-una, nagpapasalamat ako kay Lord sa binigay niyang panalo. And papasalamat rin po kami sa sponsor, kay Governor Helentan, kay Boss RD, kay Kong Mike, Mayor Plim, and hi to Malik, Kobe, Kalex, and kay Doc Kim, happy birthday, Doc. And sa pamilya ko sa Davao, sa asawa ko, sa dalawang kong anak, si Mateo, si Matea, and sa mga papa ko, and sa Bakmi Davao, Bakmi Mawab, and Bakmi Makati, and sa mga sumusuporta po sa Quezon, and maraming salamat po sa inyo, and sa taga-Pangin, sa taga-Tibungol, and yun. Thank you.
Maraming salamat. Once again, that was Judel Fuentes, our best player of the game, brought to us by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Andrea. Happy birthday again to Doc Kim Tan. Congratulations to Quezon. Ito, matinding laban in the south between the Zamboanga Sikat Families Brand Sardines and the Cebu Greats. Keep it here dahil